everybody, and this is my mom, everybody.
Hi guys, we're here for another day of Advent blocks. And what day are we on? Day number 7.
7!
Can you go find block number 7 and show us what picture is on there?
A sword. What?
Oh, careful. It's okay. Careful. Almost lost a shepherd.
Is that a shepherd?
That is our shepherd. All right, what's on there?
Fire cake. Tree cake.
You know what? It actually, it looks like a tree with birthday candles on top. Is that what you're saying?
Tree cake. Who wants to eat it?
You are silly, but
I need to put it up.
Oh, okay, you're right. He's right that it does look like a tree with birthday candles. But you know what I think it is?
What?
A burning bush. Have you ever heard a story in the Bible about a burning bush? Not yet?
Maybe move.
No, buddy. You got to leave these ones here and come sit down for our story.
I need them all together.
Oh, I see. Somebody's a bit of a perfectionist. Okay, here, I'll help you. There. That's my trick. All right, hurry, so we don't have to start over.
I sit in my
I'm
ass.
going to sit in Mama's lap. Okay. There's our light of the world on our tree cake, or also known as our burning bush. Do you know a story about a burning bush?
Tree.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see in the story. Have you guys ever heard a story of a burning bush in the Bible?
Tree.
Or a burning tree in the Bible? Have you? Have you learned about a burning bush at school? No? All right. I bet some of you know this story. Have you heard of Moses?
No.
No? Have you heard of Moses?
Yes.
You just switched your answer. Hold on, Lizard's going to sit here for a second. Here we go. Our day number
7.
7. It says, free at last. The story of Moses. I realized I haven't shown you guys these pictures. I wonder who this is. Do you guys have any guesses? Jesus is Joseph? Good guess, but I have a feeling this story is about someone else. Let's read it and find out. Abraham had a son named...
That's Abraham.
Maybe it's Abraham. Let's find out. Abraham had a son named... Isaac. And Isaac had a son named...
Joseph.
Ooh, close.
Jacob.
And Jacob had a son named...
Joseph.
And Joseph saved God's people from famine. Remember, that's when you don't have enough to eat. By bringing them to Egypt. Can you say Egypt? Egypt. Now, when the famine was over, Joseph and his brothers didn't follow God out of Egypt the way God wanted. And neither did their children, or their children's children, or their children's children's children. And even though God's family was now bigger than ever, they were about to be in trouble because a new king began to rule in Egypt. So remember that the king that Joseph met in Egypt, he was nice, right?
Yes.
And he liked Joseph's people. Do you think this new king will be as nice as the old king?
No.
No, I don't think so either. This king was very mean to God's people. He made them his slaves. All day long they worked, and they didn't get snack breaks or time to play or anything. Does that sound fun?
I don't want to do that.
No, me either, Papa. God's people felt alone and crushed, so they cried out to God, "Where are you, God? We need you." Do you think God heard them?
Yes.
God heard their cries. God saw their trouble, and God's heart was breaking over all of it, especially how God's people felt all alone he would find a way to be with them again. God picked a man named Moses to rescue his people. Moses knew all about their slavery, but he had tried to rescue God's people once before, and it hadn't worked. So he had given up. Now he was out in the wilderness watching sheep instead. Until one day he walked by a bush. But not just any old bush. It was a bush that was on fire. But it didn't burn up from the fire. When Moses got closer, God started talking to him. I know my people are suffering and alone, he said. I hear their cries. I see their chains. Their slavery ends now. God says, I'm going to save my people. Moses thought that was great news, but he wasn't sure what he had to do with it. So God said, Moses, you're going to be the one to tell Pharaoh. Pharaoh is the king of Egypt. You're going to say, let my people go. Can you say that?
Let my people go.
Yeah, ask your friend, say, can you say that?
Can you say that?
Mm-hmm. Let my people go.
Let my people go.
Moses was scared. Pharaoh could hurt him, even kill him. God knew that Moses was scared, so he gave him an important promise.
I'm that door.
Okay, he gave an important promise. God said, I'll be with you the whole time. So Moses told Pharaoh everything God had said. Pharaoh didn't want to let God's people go at first, but then God started sending Pharaoh horrible plagues. God turned the Nile River into blood, but Pharaoh didn't listen.
Why?
That's a very good question. So God sent more plagues, and he made frogs cover the land.
I'm hungry.
Okay, we'll eat something in a minute. After that, he sent gnats. Those are little bitty bugs to cover the frogs. And then after that, sickness and horrible boils and huge hailstones and a storm of locusts and then a terrible darkness all day long. And still...
I'm not pointing that door.
I'm sorry. And still, Pharaoh didn't listen. Do you think that's going to work out well for Pharaoh?
No.
No. God used Moses to warn Pharaoh about the last plague. Let God's people go, or the firstborn son in every family will die. God also used Moses to warn God's people. Listen closely. Every family needs to take a lamb, kill it, and put its blood on your doorposts. That way, when God visits tonight, he'll see the blood and pass over your house, and you'll be safe. Sure enough, that night, many people died, including Pharaoh's own son. Finally, Pharaoh told God's people, you aren't my slaves anymore. Go. God's people were free at last. For years to come, even when it was hard, even when they wandered in the wilderness, and even when they weren't sure what was going to happen next, they remembered how God had saved them from slavery in Egypt. But as the years went on, people stopped remembering. They had plenty of reasons to remember, but they thought about other things instead. They thought about how strong they were now and how they didn't want to be in the wilderness anymore. And they started to miss Egypt. And it led them back to the same old problem. Okay, here we go.
More tomorrow.
Almost. When they forgot their God, he seemed far away. So Moses and God's people began to hope and to
Pray.
God, will you come back to stay?
Yes.
Eventually.
More tomorrow.
More tomorrow. video. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. What's the...
Say bye.
Bye.